Our story is set in Vienna, Austria in the fall of 1918. The Austro-Hungarian Empire has collapsed. Austria and her neighbor, Germany, have lost the Great War. The Viennese economy is in ruins. The social institutions are in shambles. To add insult to injury, the Spanish influenza has just struck Vienna with devastating effects. The tram drivers fell ill first from the flu, and the city's transportation ground to a halt. By October, all the schools were closed. Vienna's famous clubs and theaters were shuttered. Churches locked their doors. Even the brothels were shut down. The hospitals were overwhelmed. No one was spared. There was no known cure, but masks were worn by everyone as a preventative measure. Our play begins when the Duke of Vienna decides to leave his war-weary and plague-ravaged city for an extended retreat.
Aeschylus.
My lord?
The nature of our people, our city's institutions, and the terms for common justice, you're as pregnant in as art and practice hath enriched any that I remember. There is your commission, from which I would not have you warped. Bid come before us, Angelo. What figure of us think you Angelo will bear? For you must know, I have with special soul elected him my terror, dressed him with my love, and given his deputation all the organs of my power. What think you of it?
If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honor, it is Lord Angelo.
He comes.
Always obedient to your grace's will, I come to know your pleasure.
Angelo, heaven doth with us as we with torches do, not light them for themselves. For if our virtue did not go forth of us, 'twere all alike as if we had them not. But I do bend my speech to one that can my part in him advertise.
Now, my lord,
Therefore, Angelo, in my remove, be thou at full myself. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. The lady Aeschylus, though first in age, is thy secondary. Take thy commission.
Now, good my lord, let there be some more test made of my metal, before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it.
No more evasion. I have, with a leavened and prepared choice, proceeded to you. Therefore take your honors. My haste from hence is of so quick condition that it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned matters of needful value. I shall write to you how it goes with me, and do look to know what doth befall you here. So, fare you well. To the hopeful execution do I leave you of your commissions.
Yet give leave, my lord, that we may escort you something on the way.
My haste may not admit it. Your scope is as my own. So, to enforce or qualify the laws as to your soul seems good. I'll privily away. I love the the people, but do not like to stage me to their eyes. Though it do well, I do not relish well their loud applause and aves vehement. Nor do I think the man of safe discretion that does affect it. Once more, fare you well.
The heavens give
Please,
safety to your
forth
purposes.
and bring you back in happiness.
I thank you. Fare you well.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look to the bottom of my place. A power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed.
Oh, 'tis so with me. Let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honor.
I hope our Duke with the other Dukes come to agreement with the Allied forces.
Heaven grant us peace.
Amen.
Like the sanctimonious pirate that went to sea with the 10 Commandments but scraped one out of the table.
Thou shalt not steal?
Aye, that he raised.
Why, 'twas a commandment to command the captain and all the rest from their function. They put forth to steal. There's not a soldier of us all that, in the grace before the mill, do relish a petition while it prays for peace.
I've never heard any soldier dislike it.
I believe thee, for I think thou never were where grace was said.
No? A dozen times at least.
Not in any proportion or in any language.
And I think not in any religion.
Aye, why not? Grace is grace, despite your religion. As, for example, thou thyself art a wicked villain, despite all grace.
Well, there went but a pair of shears between us.
I grant, as there may be between the scraps and the velvet. Thou art the scraps.
And thou the velvet. I warrant thee, I had lief be a scrap of English cloth as a French velvet with the clap. Do I speak freely now?
I think thou dost. And indeed, with the most painful feeling of thy speech. Remind me never to drink from thy cup after thee.
I think I have done myself wrong, have I not?
Yes, thou hast, whether thou art tainted or free.
Behold, behold, where Madam Mitigation comes. I have purchased as many diseases under her roof as come to,
To what, I pray?
guess.
$2,000-3,000 a year?
Aye, and more.
Aye, a French sore more.
Thou art always figuring diseases in me, but thou art full of error. I am sound.
Nay, not as one would say, healthy, but sound as things that are hollow. Thy bones are hollow. Hard living has made a feast of thee.
How now? Which of your hips has the most profound sciatica?
Well, well. There's one yonder arrested and carried to prison worth 5,000 of you all.
Who's that, I pray thee?
Marry, sir, that's Claudio, Signor Claudio.
Claudio to prison? It is not so.
Nay, but I know it 'tis so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and which is more, within these 3 days, his head to be chopped off.
But after all this fooling, I would not have it so. Art thou sure of this?
I am too sure of it, and it is for getting Madame Giulietta with child.
Believe me, this may be. He promised to meet me 2 hours since, and he was ever precise in promise-keeping.
Besides, you know it draws something near to the speech we had to such a purpose.
But most of all, agreeing with the public proclamation.
Away! Let's go learn the truth of it.
Thus, what with the war, what with the plague, what with the gallows, and what with poverty, I am losing business. How now? What news with you?
Yonder man is carried to prison.
Well, what's he done?
A woman.
But what is his offense?
Groping for trout in peculiar river.
What? Is there a maid with child by him?
No, but there's a woman with maid by him. You have not heard of the proclamation, have you?
What proclamation?
All whorehouses in the suburbs of Vienna must be plucked down.
And what shall become of those in the city?
They shall stand for seed. They had gone down too, but that a wise burgher put in for them.
But shall all our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled down?
Oh! To the ground, mistress.
Why, here's a change indeed in the Commonwealth. What shall become of me?
Come, fear you not. Good lawyers lack no clients. Though you change your place, you need not change your trade. I'll be a tapster. Courage! There will be pity taken on you. You that have worn your eyes almost out in the service. You will be considered.
What's to do here, Madam Tapster? Let's withdraw.
Fellow, why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge.
Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offense by weight the words of heaven. On whom it will, on whom it will not. So, yet still 'tis just.
Why, how now, Claudio? Whence comes this restraint?
Too much liberty, my Lucio. Liberty. Our natures do pursue, like rats that raven down their proper bane, a thirsty evil, and when we drink, we die.
If I could speak so wisely under an arrest, I would send for certain of my creditors. And yet, to say the truth, I had as lief have the foppery of freedom as the morality of imprisonment. What's thy offense, Claudio?
What but to speak of would offend again.
What? Is it murder?
No.
Lechery?
Call it so.
Away, sir, you must go.
One word, good friend. Lucio, a word with you.
100, if they'll do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I got possession of Julieta's bed. You know the lady? She is fast my wife. Say, we have had no official ceremony, but it chances the stealth of our most mutual entertainment with character too gross is writ on Juliet.
With child, perhaps?
Unhappily, even so. And the deputy for the Duke, Angelo, awakes me all the enrolled penalties, which have like rusty armor hung by the wall, so long that 19 zodiacs have gone round and none of them have been worn. and for a name now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. 'Tis surely for a name.
I warrant it is. And thy head stands so tickled on thy shoulders that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send after the Duke and appeal to him.
I have done so, but he's not to be found. I pray thee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the convent enter, and there receive her initiation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state. Implore her in my voice that she make friends to the strict deputy. Bid herself assay him. I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is a sweet and speechless dialect such as move men. Besides, she hath prosperous art, and well she will play with reason and discourse, and well can she persuade.
I pray she may, for I would be so sorry should your life be foolishly lost at a game of tic-tac. I'll to her.
I thank you. Good friend, Lucio.
Within 2 hours.
Come, away!
Oh no! Holy sister! Throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why, I desire thee to give me secret harbor, hath a purpose more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth.
May your grace speak of it.
I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna, and he supposes me travel to Poland, for I have strewed it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, pious sister, you'll demand of me why I do this?
Gladly, my lord.
Vienna has strict statutes and most biting laws, which for this 19 years I have let slip. Now, as fond fathers having bound up the threatening twigs of birch, only to stick it in their children's sight for terror, not to use, in time the rod becomes more mocked than feared. So, our laws, dead to infliction, to themselves are dead, and liberty plucks justice by the nose. The baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum.
It rested in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you pleased. And in you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear too dreadful. 'Twas my fault to give the people scope. 'Twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I let them do. Therefore, sister, I have on Angelo imposed the office, who may, in the ambush of my name, strike home. And to behold his rule, I will, as 'twere a brother of the order, visit both prince and people. Therefore, I prithee, supply me with a habit, and instruct me how I may formally in person bear me like a true friar. Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows, or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. Hence shall I see, if power change purpose, what our seemers be.
Sister, have you nuns no further privileges?
Are not these large enough?
Yes, truly. I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votaress of St. Clare.
Oh, peace be in this place!
Who's that which calls?
It is a man's voice. Gentle Isabella, turn you the key and know his business of him. You may, I may not. You are yet unsworn. When you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. Then, if you speak, you must not show your face, or if you show your face, you must not speak.
Oh, peace within!
He calls again. I pray you, answer him.
Peace and prosperity. Who is it that calls?
Hail, Virgin! If you so be as those cheek roses proclaim you are no less. Can you so help me as to bring me to the sight of Isabella, a novice of this place and a fair sister to her unhappy brother Claudio?
Why her unhappy brother? I am that Isabella and his sister.
Gentle and fair, your brother kindly greets you. Not to be weary with you, he's in prison.
Woe me, for what?
For that which, if myself might be his judge, he should receive his punishment in thanks. He has got his friend with child.
Sir, make me not your story.
'Tis true, I would not play with all virgins so. I hold you as a thing heavenly and sainted by your announcement an immortal spirit, and to be talked with in sincerity as with a saint.
You do blaspheme the good and mock him.
Do not believe it. Fewness, and in truth 'tis thus. Your brother and his lover have embraced, and those that feed grow full, so her plenteous womb expresses his full tilth and husbandry.
Someone with child by him? My cousin, Juliet.
Is she your cousin?
Adoptedly, as schoolmates change their names by vein through apt affection.
She it is.
Now let him marry her.
That's the point. The Duke is very strangely gone from hence. Upon his place, and with full line of his authority, governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood is very snow broth. One who never feels the wanton stings and motions of the sense, but doth rebate and blunt his natural edge with profits of the mind, study, and fast. He hath picked out an act under whose heavy sense your brother's life falls into forfeit. He arrests him on it, and follows close the rigor of the statute to make him an example. All hope is gone, unless you have the grace by your fair prayer to soften Angelo. And that's my pith of business twixt you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
Has censured him already, and as I hear, the provost hath a warrant for his execution.
Alas, what poor abilities in me to do him good?
Test the power you have.
My power? Alas, I doubt that
Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo, and let him learn to know when maidens sue, men give like gods, but when they weep and kneel, all their petitions are as freely theirs as they themselves would owe them.
I'll see what I can do.
But speedily.
I will about it straight, no longer staying but to give the mother notice of my affair. I humbly thank you. Commend me to my brother. Soon at night I'll send him certain word of my success.
I take my leave of you.
Good sir, adieu.
We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey and let it keep one shape till custom make it their perch and not their terror.
Aye, but yet let us be keen and rather cut a little than fall and bruised to death. Alas, this gentleman whom I would save had a most noble father. Let but your honor know whether you had not sometime in your life erred in this point, which you now censure him, and pulled the law upon you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I don't deny the jury passing on the prisoner's life may in the sworn 12 have a thief or two guiltier than him they try. You may not so extenuate his offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me when I that censure him do so offend. Let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial. So, he must die.
Be it as your wisdom will.
Where's the provost?
Here, if it like your honor.
See that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. Bring him his confessor, let him be prepared, for that's the utmost of his pilgrimage.
Well, heaven forgive him and forgive us all. Some rise by sin, and some by virtue fall. Some run from breaks of ice and answer none, and some condemned for fault of art.
Come, bring them away! Bring them away!
How now, sir? What's your name, and what's the matter?
If it please your honor, I am a poor duke's constable. My name is Elbow. I do lean upon justice and bring in here 2 notorious benefactors.
Benefactors? Well, what benefactors are they? Are they not malefactors?
If it please your honor, I know not what they are, but precise they are villains, and I am sure of it.
This comes off well. Here's a wise officer.
Oh, go to. What quality are they of? Elbow is your name? Why dost thou not speak, Elbow?
He cannot, sir. He's at his elbow.
What are you, madam?
She, sir, a tapester, sir, a part-time pimp, a one-time whore. She serves a bad woman.
How know you that?
My wife, who I detest before heaven and your honor.
How, thou wife? Dost thou detest her, therefore?
I say, your honor, I detest her also, as well as myself, as she, that house, if it not be a whorehouse, it is pity of her life, for it be a naughty house.
How dost thou know that, constable?
Your honor, by my wife, who if she had been a woman of sexual incline, might have been accused of fornication, adultery, and all uncleanliness there.
By this madam's means?
Aye, by this mistress overdone mean, and her pimp here, but as my wife spit in his face, so she defile him.
If it please your honor, this is not so.
Thou honorable woman, prove it!
Do you hear how he misplaces?
Your honor, she came in great with child and longing, saving your honor's reverence 4 stewed prunes. We had but 2 in the house, which at a very distant time stood, as it were, in a fruit dish, a dish of some 3 pence. Your honors have seen such dishes. They are not china dishes, but very good dishes.
Go to, no matter for the dish, madam.
No, indeed, your honor, not of a pin, you are therein in the right. But to the point. As I say, this mistress Elbow, being, as I say, with child, and being great-bellied and longing, as I said, for prunes, and having but 2 in the dish, as I said, Master Froth here, this very man, having eaten the rest, as I said, and, as I say, paying for them very honestly, for, as you know, Master Froth, I cannot give you 3 pence again.
No, indeed.
Very well, you being then, if you be remembered, cracking the stones of the foresaid prunes.
No, I saw it indeed.
Why, very well. I telling you then, if you be remembered, that such a one and such a one were past cure of the thing you wot of, unless they kept good diet, as I told you.
Oh, that is true.
Why, very well then.
Come, you are a tedious fool. To the purpose. What was done to Elbow's wife that he hath the cause to complain of? come me to what was done to her.
Your honor cannot come to that yet.
No, madam, nor I mean it not.
But you shall come to it by your honor's leave, and I beseech you, look into Master Frog here, a man of only 80 pounds a year, whose father died at Hallowmas. Was it not at Hallowmas, Master Frog?
Halloween.
Why, very well. I hope here be truth. He, sitting, as I say, in the lower chair. 'Twas in the bunch of grapes where indeed you had the delight to sit, have you not?
It's an open room and good for winter.
Why, very well then. I hope here be truth.
Oh, this will last out a night in Russia when night are longest there. I'll take my leave and leave you to the hearing of the cause, hoping you'll find good cause to whip them all.
I think no less. Good morrow to your lordship. Now, madam, come on. What was done to Elbow's wife? Once more?
Once, your honor, there was nothing done to her. Once.
I beseech you, your honor, ask her what this man did to my wife.
I beseech your honor, ask me.
Well, madam, what did this gentleman to her?
I beseech your honor, look in this gentleman's face. Good Master Frog, look upon her honor. 'Tis for a good purpose. Doth your honor mark his face?
I, madam, very well.
Nay, I beseech you, mark it well.
Well, I do so.
Doth your honor see any harm in his face?
Why, no.
I'll be supposed upon a book his face is the worst thing about him. Good, then, if his face be the worst thing about him, how could Master Frog do the constable's wife any harm? I would know that of your honor.
She's in the right, constable. What say you to it?
I thank your good worship. What it is your worship pleasure, I shall do this wicked varlet.
Truly, officer, because she hath some offences in her that thou would discover if thou could. Let her continue in her courses till thou know what they are.
I thank your worship for it. Thou art to continue now. Now, varlet, thou art to continue now.
Where were you born, friend?
In Vienna.
Are you of 80 pound a year?
An it please, your honor.
So, what trade are you of, madam?
Tapster, a poor widow's tapster.
Your mistress' name?
Mistress Overdone.
Has she had any more than one husband?
9, overdone by the last.
9? Come hither to me, Master Froth. Master Froth, I would not have you acquainted with tapsters. Get you gone and let me hear no more of you.
I thank you, worship. For mine own part, I've never come into any room in a tap house, but I am drawn in.
Well, no more of it, Master Froth. Farewell. Come you hither to me, Madam Tapster. What's your name, Madam Tapster?
Pompey.
What else?
Bum, your honor.
Troth, and your bum is the greatest thing about you. So, in the beastliest sense, you are Pompey the Great. Pompey, you are partly a pimp. Pompey, whatsoever you color it with being a tapster, are you not? Come, tell me true. It shall be the better for you.
Truly, I am a poor woman that would live.
How would you live, Pompey? By being a pimp? What do you think of the trade, Pompey? Is it a lawful trade?
If the law would allow it.
But the law will not allow it, Pompey, nor it shall not be allowed in Vienna.
Does your worship mean to neuter and spay all the youth of the city?
No, Pompey.
Truly, in my opinion, they will do it then. If your worship will take order for the whores and the johns, you need not to fear the pimps.
Oh, there are pretty orders beginning, I can tell you, but it is but beheading and hanging.
If you behead and hang all that offend that way, but for 10 years together, you'll be glad to give out a commission for more heads. If this law hold in Vienna 10 years, I'll rent the fairest house in it after $1 a day. If you live to see this come to pass, say Pompey told you so.
Thank you, good Pompey. And in requital of your prophecy, hark you, I advise you let me not find you before me again in any complaint whatsoever. No, not for dwelling where you do. If I do, Pompey, I shall beat you to your tent and prove a shrewd Caesar to you. Huh? In plain dealing, Pompey, I shall have you whipped. So for the time, Pompey, fare you well.
I thank your worship for your good counsel. But I shall follow it as the flesh and fortune shall better determine. Whip me? No, no. Let the cartman whip his nag. The valiant-hearted not whipped out of her trade.
Oh, come hither to me, Master Elbow. Come hither, Master Constable. How long have you been in this place of constable?
7 years and a half.
I thought by your readiness in the office you had continued in it some time. You say 7 years together?
And a half.
Alas, it hath been great pains to you. They do you wrong to put you so oft upon it. Are there not men in your ward sufficient to serve it?
They are glad to choose me. I do for some piece of money and go through with it all.
Look, you bring me in the names of some 6 or 7, the most sufficient in your parish.
To your worship's house?
To my house. Fare you well. What o'clock, think you?
11, Your Honor.
I pray you home to dinner with me.
I humbly thank you.
It grieves me for the death of Claudio. But there is no remedy.
Lord Angelo is severe.
Oh, mercy is not itself that oft looks so. Pardon is the nurse of second woe, but yet, poor Claudio, there is no remedy. Come.
Will come straight. I'll tell him of it.
Pray you do. I know his pleasure. Maybe he will relent.
Now, what's the matter, Provost?
Is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow?
Did I not tell thee yea? Have thou not order? Why dost thou ask again?
Least I might be too rash. Under good correction I have seen, when after execution judgment hath repent over his doom.
Go to, let that be mine. Do you your office, or give up your place, and you shall well be spared.
I crave your honor's pardon. What shall be done, sir, with the groaning Juliet? She's very near her hour.
Dispose of her to some more fitter place, and that with speed.
Here is the sister of the man condemned. Desires access to you.
Hath he a sister?
Aye, my good lord, a virtuous maid. And to be shortly a sister of St. Clair, if not already.
Well, let her be admitted. See you this Juliet be removed. Let have needful but not lavish means, there shall be order for it.
Save your honor.
You're welcome. What's your suit?
I am a woeful suitor to your honor. Please, but your honor, hear me.
Well, what's your suit?
There is a vice that most I do abhor, and most desire should meet the blow of justice, for which I would not plead, but that I must, for which I must not plead, but that I am at war twixt will and will not.
Well, the matter?
I have a brother is condemned to die. I do beseech you, let it be his fault and not my brother.
Condemn the fault and not the actor of it? Why, every fault's condemned ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function, to find the faults of those who find stands in record and let go by the actor.
Oh, just but severe law! I had a brother then. Heaven keep your honor.
Give not o'er so. To him again. Entreat him. Kneel down before him. Hang upon his gown.
You are too cold. If you should need a pin, you could not with more tame a tongue desire it. To him, I say.
Must he needs die?
Maiden, no remedy.
Yes, I do think that you might pardon him, and neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy.
I will not do it.
But can you, if you would?
Look, what I will not, that I cannot do.
But might you do it, and do the world no wrong, if so your heart were touched with that remorse as mine is to him?
He's sentenced. 'Tis too late.
You're too cold.
Too late? Why, no. I that do speak a word may call it back again. Well, believe this. No ceremony that to great ones belongs, nor the king's crown, nor the deputed sword, the marshal's truncheon, nor the judge's robe becomes them with one so half a good as mercy does. If he had been as you, and you as he, you would have slipped like him. But he, like you, would not have been so stern.
Pray you be gone.
I would to heaven I had your potency, and you were Isabel. Should it then be thus? No. I would tell what 'twere to be a judge and what a prisoner.
Aye, touch him. There's the vein.
Your brother is a forfeit of the law, and you but waste your words.
Alas, alas! Why all the souls that were forfeit once, and he that might the advantage best have took found out the remedy. How would you be if he, which is the top of judgment, should but judge you as you are? Oh, think on that, and mercy then will breathe within your lips like man new made.
Now, be you content. There, maid. It is the law, not I, condemn your brother. Were he my kinsman, brother, or my son, it should be thus with him. He must die tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, that's so sudden. Spare him. Spare him. He's not prepared for death. Even for our kitchens, we kill the fowl of season. Shall we serve heaven with less respect than we do minister to our gross selves? Good, my lord, bethink you. Who is it that hath died for this offense? There's many have committed it.
Aye, well said.
The law hath not been dead, though it hath slept. Those many had not dared to do that evil, if the first that did the edict infringe had answered for his deed. Now 'tis awake.
Yet show some pity.
I show it most of all when I show justice, and do him right that answering one foul wrong lives not to act another. Be satisfied. Your brother dies tomorrow. Be content.
So you must be the first that gives this sentence, and he that suffers. Oh, it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant.
That's well said.
Could great men thunder as Jove himself does, Jove would ne'er be quiet, for every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder. Nothing but thunder. But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven as makes the angels weep.
Oh, to him, which he will relent. He is coming, I perceive it.
Why do you put these sayings upon me?
Go to your bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know that's like my brother's fault. If it confess a natural guiltiness such as his, let it not sound a thought upon your tongue against my brother's life.
She speaks, and 'tis such sense that my sense breathes with it. Fare you well.
Gentle, my lord, turn back.
I will bethink me. Come again tomorrow.
Hark how I'll bribe you. Good, my lord, turn back.
How? Bribe me?
Aye, with such gifts that heaven shall share with you.
You had marred all else.
And not with fond shekels of the tested gold, or stones whose rates are either rich or poor as fancy values them, but with true prayers that shall be up at heaven and enter there ere sunrise. Prayers from preserved souls, from fasting maids whose minds are delicate to nothing temporal.
Well, come to me tomorrow.
Go to, 'tis well, away.
Heaven keep your honor safe.
Amen. For I am that way going to temptation where prayers cross.
At what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship?
At any time before noon.
Save your honor.
What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the tempted, who sins most? Not she, nor doth she tempt, but it is I. Can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than women's lightness? Having weights ground enough, shall we desire to raise the sanctuary and pitch our evils there? Oh, fie! What dost thou? What art thou, Angelo? Dost thou desire her foully for those things that make her good? Let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What? Do I love her? That I desire to hear her speak again and feast upon her eyes? What is it that I dream on? Cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints to bait thy hook. Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on to sin in loving virtue. Never could the whore with all her double vigor, art, and nature once stir my temper, but this virtuous maid subdues me quite.
Hail to you, Provost. So I think you are?
I am Provost. What's your will, good friar?
I'm a Father Lodowick from the Holy See in Roma. I come to visit the afflicted spirits here in the prison. Do me the common right to let me see them and to make me know the nature of their crimes, that I may minister to them accordingly.
I will do more than that, if more were needed. Look, here comes one gentlewoman. She is with child, and he that got her sentenced a young man, more fit to do another such offense than die for this.
When must he die?
As I do think, tomorrow. I have provided you. Stay a while, and you shall be conducted.
Repent you, fair one, of the sin you carry?
I do, and bear the shame most patiently.
Okay. I'll teach you how you shall arraign your conscience.
I'll gladly learn.
Love you the man that wronged you?
Yes, as I loved the woman that wronged him.
So then it seems your most sinful act was mutually committed.
Mutually.
Then your sin of heavier kind than this.
I do confess it. Oh, and I repent it, Father.
'Tis meet so, daughter. But lest you do repent.
I do repent, as it is an evil, and take the shame with joy.
There, rest. Your partner, as I hear, must die tomorrow. And I am going with instruction to him. Grace, go with you. Oh, benedicite.
Must die tomorrow? Oh, injurious love, that respites me a life whose very comfort is still a dying horror.
This pity of him.
When I would pray and think, I think and pray to several subjects. Heaven hath my empty words, whilst my invention, hearing not my tongue, anchors on Isabella. Heaven in my mouth, as if it only chew his name. And in my heart, the strong and swelling evil of my conception. Blood, thou art blood. Let's write good angel on the devil's horn. It is not the devil's crest. How now? Who's there?
One Isabel, a holy sister, desires access to you.
Teach her the way. Oh, heavens! Why does my blood thus muster to my heart, making both it unable for itself, and dispossessing all my other parts of necessary fitness? How now, fair maid?
I am come to know your pleasure.
That you might know it would much better please me than to demand what is. Your brother cannot live.
Even so. Heaven keep your honor.
Yet he may live a while, and it may be as long as you or I, yet he must die.
Under your sentence.
Yea.
When, I beseech you, that in his reprieve, longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
Ha! By these filthy vices! It were as good to pardon him that he hath from nature stolen a man already made, as to remit their saucy sweetness that do coin heaven's image in stamps that are forbid.
To set down so in heaven, but not in earth.
Say you so? Then I shall pose you quickly. Which had you rather, that the now most just law now took your brother's life, or, to redeem him, give up your body to the such sweet uncleanness as she that he had stained?
Sir, believe this. I had rather give my body than my soul.
I talk not of your soul.
What say you?
Answer to this. I, now the voice of the recorded law, pronounce a sentence on your brother's life. Might there not be a charity in sin to save this brother's life?
Please you to do it, I'll take it as a peril to my soul. It is no sin at all, but charity.
Please you to do it at peril of your soul were equal poise of sin and charity.
That I do beg his life, if it be sin, heaven let me bear it. You, granting my suit, if that be a sin, I'll make it my morn prayer to have it added to the faults of mine, and nothing of your answer.
Nay, but hear me. Your sense pursues not mine. Either you are ignorant or seem so craftily, and that's not good.
Let me be ignorant, and in nothing good, but graciously to know I am no better.
Thus wisdom wishes to appear most bright when it doth tax itself. But mark me, to be received plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die.
So.
And his offense is so, as it appears, accounted to the law upon that pain.
True.
admit no other way to save his life than you, his sister, finding yourself desired of such a person whose credit with the judge or own great place could fetch your brother from the manacles of the all-building law, and that there were no earthly means to save him, but that either you must lay down the treasures of your body to this supposed, or else to let him suffer. What would you do?
As much for my poor brother as myself. That is, were I under the terms of death, the impression of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death as to a bed that longing have been sick for, ere I'd yield my body up to shame.
Then must your brother die.
And 'twere the cheaper way. Better it were a brother died at once than that a sister, by redeeming him, should die forever.
Were not you then as cruel as the sentence that you have slandered so?
Ignominy and ransom and free pardon are of two houses. Lawful mercy is nothing kin of foul redemption.
You seemed of late to make the law a tyrant, and rather prove the sinning of your brother to be a merriment than a vice.
Oh, pardon me, my lord. It all falls out to have what we would have, we speak not what we mean. I something do excuse the thing I hate for his advantage that I dearly love.
Women are frail.
Aye, as the classes where they view themselves, which are as easy broke as they make forms. Women, help heaven, men their creation mar, and profiting by them. Nay, call us 10 times frail, for we are soft as our complexions are, incredulous to false prints.
I think it well. And from this testimony of your own sex, let me be bold. I do arrest your words. Be that you are, that is, a woman. If you be more, you're none. And if you be one, as you are, well expressed by all external words, show it now by putting on the destined livery.
Let me entreat you speak plainly, my lord.
Plainly conceive, I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me that he shall die for it.
He shall not, Isabel, if you give me love.
I know your virtue hath a license in it, which seems a little fouler than it is to plug on others.
Believe me, on mine honor, my words express my purpose.
Little honor to be much believed in most pernicious purpose. Deceiver, I will proclaim thee, Angelo. Look for it. Sign me a present pardon for my brother, or with an outstretched throat I'll tell the world aloud what man thou art.
Who will believe thee, Isabel? My unsoiled name, the austereness of my life, my vouch against you, and my place in the state will so your accusation overweigh that you shall stifle in your own report and smell of slander. I have begun, and I now give my sensual race the rein. Fit my consent to my sharp appetite. Lay by all nicety in wasting blushes that banish what they sue for. Redeem thy brother by yielding up thy body to my will. Or else he must not only die the death, but thy unkindness shall his death draw out into lingering sufferings. Answer me tomorrow, or by the affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can. My false overweighs your true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this, who would believe me? Oh, the perilous mouths that bear in them one and the self-same tongue, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite. I'll to my brother. Though he hath fallen by demands of the body, yet hath he in him such a mind of honor that had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody blocks, he'd yield them up before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorred pollution. Then Isabel live chaste, and brother die. More than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request, and fit his mind to death for his soul's rest.
then you hope of pardon from Lord Angelo?
The miserable have no other medicine but only hope. I've hoped to live, and am prepared to die.
Be absolute for death. Either death or life shall thereby be the sweeter. Reason thus with life. If I do lose thee, I do lose a thing that none but fools would keep. Merely thou art death's fool. For all the accommodation that thou bears are nursed by baseness. Thou art by no means valiant, for thou dost fear the soft and tender fork of a poor worm. Friends, thou hast none. For thine own bowels, which do call you sire, do curse the gout, rashes, and the rheum for ending thee no sooner. Thou hast nor youth nor age, but as it were an after-dinner sleep, dreaming on both. For all thy blessed youth becomes as aged, and doth beg the alms of palsied elders. And when thou art old and rich, thou hast neither heat, affection, limb, nor beauty to make thy riches pleasant. What yet in this that bears the name of life, huh? Yet in this life lie hid more thousand deaths. Yet death we fear, that makes these odds all even.
I humbly thank you. To sue to live, find I seek to die, and seeking death, find life. Let it come on.
But ho! Peace be your grace and good company.
Who's there? Come in. The wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, ere long I'll visit you again.
Most holy sir, I thank you.
My business is a word or two with Claudio.
And a very welcome. Look, senor, here's your sister.
Provost, a word with you.
As many as you please.
Bring me to hear them speak, where I may be concealed.
Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intend you for his swift ambassador. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None. But such remedy as to save a head, to cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge, if you will implore it, that will free your life but fetter you till death.
Perpetual imprisonment?
Aye, just. A perpetual durance, a restraint.
But in what nature?
In such a one as you, consenting to it, would bark your honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point!
Oh, I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake lest thou a feverish life should entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Dare thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
Hey, there spake my brother! There my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, but thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy, Angelo, is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear upon as deep as hell.
The priestly Angelo?
Oh, 'tis the cunning livery of hell, the damnedest body to invest and cover in priestly garb. Dost thou think, Claudio, If I would yield him my virginity, thou might be free.
Oh, heavens, it cannot be.
This night's the time that I should do what I bore to name, or else thou die tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it.
Oh, if it only my life, I throw it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pen.
Thanks, dear Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes? Is he affections in him that thus can make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin, or of the deadly seven it is the least.
Which is the least?
It were damnable. Angelo being so wise, why would he, for the momentary trick, be eternally fined? Oh, Isabel.
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
A chained life is hateful.
I but to die and go, we know not where. To lie in cold obstruction and to rot, this sensible war motion to become a needed clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in a frigid region of thick-ribbed ice, to be imprisoned in the viewless winds and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world. 'Tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas!
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin do you to save a brother's life? Nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! Oh, faithless coward! Oh, dishonest wretch! Would thou be made a man out of my vice? It is not a kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame. What should I think? Take my defiance, die, perish! I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death, no word to save thee.
Nay, hear me, Isabel.
Fie! 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 Thy sin's not accidental, but a habit. Mercy to thee would prove itself a whore. 'Tis best you die quickly.
Oh, hear me, Isabella.
Oh, vouchsafe a word, the young sister, but one word.
What is your will?
Might you dispense with your leisure? I would by and by have some speech with you.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay must be stolen out of other affairs, but I will attend you a while.
Son, I have overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo hath never the purpose to corrupt her, only he hath made an essay of her virtue to practice his judgment. Having in her the truth of honor, she hath made him that gracious denial he is most glad to receive. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go to your niece and make her ready.
Let me ask my sister pardon. I am so out of love with life that I will sue to be rid of it.
Hold you there. Farewell. Provost, a word with you.
What's your will, father?
Leave me a while with the maid. My mind promises with my habit no loss shall touch her by my company.
In good time.
The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The assault that Angelo hath made to you, fortune hath conveyed to my understanding, and but that frailty hath examples for his falling. I should wonder at Angelo. How should you do to content this deputy and to save your brother?
I am now going to resolve him. I had rather my brother die by the law than my child should be unlawfully born. But oh, how much is the good Duke deceived in Angelo! If ever he return and I can speak to him, I will open my lips in vain or discover his government.
That shall not be much amiss. Yet, as the matter now stands, Angelo will avoid your accusation. Therefore, fasten your ears on my advising. I believe that you may most uprighteously do a poor wronged lady a merited benefit. Redeem your own brother from the angry law. Do no stain to your own gracious person, and much please the absent Duke. if he shall ever return to have a hearing of this business.
Let me hear you speak farther. I have spirit to do anything that appears not foul in the truth of my spirit.
Virtue is bold and goodness never fearful. Have you not heard speak of Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who drowned at sea?
I have heard of the lady, and good words went with her name.
She should this Angelo have married, between which time of the contract and the limit of the solemnity, her brother Frederick was wrecked at sea, having in that perished vessel the dowry of his sister. There she lost a noble and renowned brother, and with him the portion and sinew of her fortune, her marriage dowry. With both her future husband, this well-seeming Angelo.
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
Left her in her tears, and dried not a one of them with his comfort. Swallowed his vows whole, pretending in her discoveries of dishonor.
What a merit were it in death to take this poor maid from this world. What corruption in this life that it will let this man live. But how out of this can she avail?
Mariana hath yet in the continuance of her first affection, his unjust unkindness, that in all the reason should have quenched her love, hath, like an impediment in the current, made it more violent and unruly. Now go you to Angelo, answering his requiring with a plausible obedience. No. Only refer yourself to this advantage. First, that your stay with him may not be long, that the time may have all shadow and silence in it, and the place answer to convenience. This being granted, we shall advise this wronged maid go in your place. And here, by this is your brother saved, your honor untainted, the poor Mariana advantaged, and the corrupt deputy punished. Yes! Oh, the maid will I frame, and make fit for his attempt. If you think well to carry this as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the deceit from reproof. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to a most prosperous perfection.
Oh, it lies much in your holding up. Now haste you speedily to Angelo. If for this night he entreat you to his bed, give him the promise of satisfaction. I will presently in St. Luke's. There, at the moated grange, resides this dejected Mariana. At that place, call upon me, and dispatch with Angelo, that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, good father.
If there be no remedy for it.
Oh, heavens! What stuff is here?
Come your way, madam. God bless you, good Father Friar.
And you, good brother Father. What offense has this woman made you, sir?
Marry, sir, she hath offended the law.
Ah, fie, madam. The evil that thou causest to be done, that is thy means to live. Canst thou believe thy living is a life so stinkingly depending? Commend.
Indeed, it does stink in some sort, sir, but yet, sir, I would prove it.
Nay, take her to prison, officer. To correction and instruction must both work ere this rude beast will profit.
She must before a deputy, sir. If she be a whoremonger, her neck will come to your waist with a cord, sir.
I spy comfort, I cry bail. He's a gentleman and a friend of mine.
How now, invincible Pompey! What? At the wheels of Caesar? Art thou led in triumph? What say thou, Trot? Is the world as it was, woman? How doth my dear morsel thy mistress? Whoring still, ha?
Trust, sir, she hath eaten up all her beef, and she is herself in the tub.
Oh, why, 'tis good. It is the right of it. It must be so. Ever your fresh whore and your powdered pimp, an unshunned consequence. It must be so. Art going to prison, Pompey?
Yes, faith, sir.
Why, 'tis not amiss, Pompey. Farewell. Go, say I sent thee thither. For debt, Pompey, or how?
For being a pimp! For being a pimp!
Oh, well then, imprison her. If imprisonment be the due of a pimp, why, 'tis her right. Pimp is she doubtless, and of antiquity too, pimp born. Farewell, good Pompey. Commend me to the prison, Pompey. You will turn good wife now, Pompey. Oh yes, you will keep the house.
I hope, sir, your good worship will be my bail.
No, indeed will I not, Pompey. I will pray, Pompey, to increase your bondage. Adieu, trusty Pompey. Bless you, Friar.
And you.
Come your ways, madam, come!
You will not bail me then, sir?
Then, Pompey, nor now. What news abroad, Friar? What news?
Come your ways, madam, come!
Go to the kennel, Pompey. Go! What news, Friar, of the Duke?
I know none. Can you tell me any?
Some say he is with the dictator of Russia. Other some, he is in Rome. But where is he, think you?
Oh, I know not where. But wheresoever I wish him well.
It was a mad, fantastical trick of him to steal from the state and usurp the beggary he was never born to. Lord Angelo dukes it well in his absence. He puts transgression to it.
He does well in it,
A little more lenient towards lechery would do no harm in him. Something too crabbed that way, Friar.
It is too general a vice, and severity must cure.
Yes, in good sooth, the vice is of great kindred. It is well allied, but it is impossible to stamp out quite, Friar, till eating and drinking be put down. They say this Angelo was not made by man and woman after this downright way of creation. Is it true, think you?
What? How should he be made then?
Some report a sea maid spawned him. Some that he was begot between two stockfishes. But it is certain that when he makes water, his urine is congealed ice. That I know to be true.
Oh, you are pleasant, sir. And speak apace.
Why, what a ruthless thing is this in him for the stiffness of a joint to take away the life of a man? Would the Duke that is absent have done this? Ere he would have hanged the man for the getting 100 bastards, he would have paid for the nursing 1,000. He had some feeling of the sport. He knew the service, and that instructed his mercy.
I have never heard the absent Duke much detected for women. He was not inclined that way.
Oh, sir, you are deceived.
'Tis not possible.
Who, not the Duke? The Duke had crotches in him. He would be drunk, too, let me inform you.
Oh, you do him wrong, surely.
Sir, I was a friend of his. A shy fellow was the Duke, and I believe I know the cause of his withdrawing.
What, I prithee, might be the cause?
No, pardon. It is a secret. Must be locked within the teeth and the lips. But this I can let you understand. The greater file of the subject held the Duke to be wise.
Wise? Why, but no question he was.
Very superficial, ignorant, unweighing fellow.
Either this is envy in you, folly, or mistaking. He shall appear a scholar, a statesman, and a soldier. You speak unskillfully, or, if your knowledge be more, it is much darkened by your malice.
Sir, I know him, and I love him.
Well, love talks with better knowledge, and knowledge with dearer love.
Come, sir, I know what I know.
I can hardly believe that, since you know not the what do you speak. But, if the Duke ever return, as our prayers are he may, let me desire you to make your answer before him. I pray you. Your name?
Sir, my name is Lucio, well known to the Duke.
Oh, he shall know you better, sir, if I may live to report you.
I fear you not.
Oh, you imagine me too unhurtful an enemy, but indeed I can do you a little harm. You'll forswear this again.
I'll be hanged first. Thou art deceived in me, Friar. But no more of this. Canst thou tell me if Claudio die tomorrow, or no?
Why should he die, sir?
Why? For filling a bottle with a tundish. I would the Duke we talk of were returned again. The sexless deputy will unpeople the province with abstinence. Sparrows must not build in his house eaves because they are lecherous. The Duke yet would have dark deeds darkly answered. He would never bring them to light. Would he returned. Marry, this Claudio is condemned for untrussing. Farewell, good friar. I prithee, pray for me. The Duke, I say to thee again, would eat mutton on Fridays. He's not past it yet, and I say to thee, he would French kiss a beggar, though she smelt of brown bread and garlic. You say that I said so. Farewell.
No might nor greatness in mortality can censure escape. Backbiting criticism the whitest virtue strikes. What king so strong can tie up the gall in the slanderous tongue? But who comes here?
Go away with her to prison.
Could my lady be good to me? Your honor is accounted a merciful woman. Good my lady.
This would make mercy swear and play the tyrant.
A madam of 11 years continuance. May it please your honor.
My lady, this is one Lucio's information against me. Mistress Kate Keepdown was with child by him in the Duke's time. He promised her marriage. His child is 1.25 years come Philip and Jacob. I have kept it myself, and see how he goes about to abuse me?
This Lucio is a fellow of much license. Let him be called before us. Away with her to prison.
My lady,
go to, no more words. Provost, my brother Deputy Angelo will not be altered. Claudio must die tomorrow. Let him be furnished with priests and have all charitable preparation. If my brother Deputy wrought my pity, it should not be so with Claudio.
So please you, this friar hath been with Claudio, and advised him of the entertainment of death.
Good even, good father.
Blessing and goodness on you.
Of whence are you?
Not of this country. I am a brother of gracious order, late come from the Vatican in special business from His Holiness.
What news abroad in the world?
None, but that there is scarce truth enough alive to make society secure. This news is old enough, yet it is every day's news. I pray you, of what disposition was the Duke?
One that, above all other strifes, contended especially to know himself.
What pleasure was he given to?
Rather rejoicing to see another merry than merry at anything which professed to make him rejoice. A gentleman of all temperance. But leave we him to his events, with a prayer that may prove prosperous, and let me desire to know how you find Claudio prepared. I am made to understand you have lent him visitation.
He had many deceiving promises of life, which I, by my good leisure, have discredited to him, and now he is resolved to die.
You have paid the heavens your function, and the prisoner the very debt of your calling. I have labored for the poor gentleman to the extremest shore of my modesty, but my brother Justice have I found so severe.
If his own life answer the straightness of his proceeding, it shall become him well. But if he chance to fail, he hath sentenced himself.
I am going to visit this prisoner. Fare you well.
Peace be with you. He who the sword of heaven will bear should be as holy as severe. Twice treble shame on Angelo. To weed my vice and to let his grow? Oh, what may man within him hide, though angel on the outward side? Craft against vice I must apply. With Angelo tonight shall lie his old betrothed, but despised. So disguised shall, by the disguise, pay with falsehood false exacting, and perform an old contracting.
Man of comfort, whose advice hath often stilled my brawling discontent. I cry you mercy, sir, and well could wish you had not found me here so musical. Let me excuse me and believe me so. My mirth it much displeased, but pleased my woe.
'Tis good. I pray you, tell me, hath anybody inquired for me here today?
You have not been inquired after. I've sat here all day.
I do constantly believe you. Oh, the time has come even now. I shall crave your forbearance a little. I will call upon you anon for some advantages to yourself, eh? Oh.
I am always bound to you.
Very well met and welcome. What is the news of this good deputy, eh?
He hath a garden surrounded with brick, whose western side is with a vineyard backed. And to that vineyard is a planked gate that makes his opening with this bigger key. This other doth command a little door, which from the vineyard to the garden leads. There have I made my promise upon the heavy middle of the night to call upon him.
But shall you on your knowledge find this way?
I have taken a due and wary note upon it. With whispering and most guilty diligence, he did show me the way twice over.
Oh, well, are there no other tokens between you agreed concerning her observance?
No, none, but only a repair in the dark, and that I have told him my most stay can be but brief.
Good.
For I have made him know I have a servant comes with me along that stays upon me, whose pretense is I come about my brother.
'Tis well borne up. I have not yet made known to Mariana a word of this. What ho! Come forth! I'd pray you be acquainted with this maid. She comes to do you good.
I do desire the like.
Do you persuade yourself that I respect you?
Oh, good Friar, I know you do and have found it.
Oh, take then this companion by the hand, who hath a story ready for your ear. I shall attend your leisure, but make haste, the vaporous night approaches.
Will it please you walk aside?
Oh, place and greatness. Millions of eyes are struck upon thee. Volumes of reports run with these false and most contrarious rumors. Upon thy doings, 1,000 escapes of wit make thee the father of their idle dream and rack thee in their fancies. Welcome. How agreed?
She'll take the enterprise upon her, Father, if you advise it.
It is not my consent, but my entreaty too.
Little have you to say when you depart from him, but soft and low. Remember now my brother.
Fear me not.
No, gentle daughter, fear you not at all. He is your husband on the pre-contract. To bring you thus together, 'tis no sin, because the justice of your title to him doth allow the deceit. Come, let us go. Our corns to reap, and yet our ties to sow.
Pompey, come hither, madam. Can you cut off a man's head?
If the man be a bachelor, sir, I can. But if he be a married man, he's his wife's head. And I can never cut off a woman's head.
Come, madam, leave me your jokes and yield me a direct answer. Tomorrow morning are to die Claudio and Bernardine. Here in our prison is a common executioner who in his office lacks a helper. If you can take it on you to assist him, it shall redeem you of your chains. If not, you shall have the full time of imprisonment and your deliverance with an unpitied whipping, for you have been a notorious pimp.
Sir, I have been an unlawful pimp time out of mind. But yet I will be content to be a lawful executioner. I would be glad to receive some instruction from my fellow partner.
What ho, Abhorsen? Where's Abhorsen there?
You call, sir?
Here's a woman will help you tomorrow with your executions. She cannot plead her reputation with you. She has been a pimp.
A pimp, sir? Fie upon her. She will discredit our mystery.
Go to, sir. You weigh equally. A feather would turn the scale.
Pray, sir, by your good favor. For surely, sir, a good face you have. But that you have a hanging look. do you call, sir, your occupation a mystery?
Aye, madame, a mystery. Mystery.
Painting, sir, I have heard is a mystery. And your whores, sir, being members of my occupation, using painting do prove my occupation a mystery. But what mystery there should be in beheading, if I should be beheaded, I cannot imagine.
It is a mystery.
Proof?
Every true man's apparel fits your thief. If it be too little for your thief, your true man thinks it big enough. If it be too big for your thief thinks it little enough. So every true man's apparel fits your thief.
Huh?
Pompey, are you agreed?
Sir, I will serve him, for I do find your executioner is a more penitent trade than your pimp. He doth oftener ask forgiveness.
Provide her your block and your axe tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Come on, pimp. I will instruct thee in my trade. Follow.
I do desire to learn, for truly, sir, for your kindness I owe you a good turn.
Call hither Bernardine and Claudio. The one has my pity, not a jot the other, being a murderer though he were my brother. Look, here's the warrant, Claudio, for thy death. 'Tis now dead midnight, and by 8 tomorrow thou must be made immortal. Where's Bernardine?
As fast locked up in sleep as guiltless labor when it lies starkly in the traveler's bones. He will not wake.
Who can do good on him? Well, go prepare yourself. But hark, what noise? I hope it is some pardon or reprieve for the most gentle Claudio. Welcome, Father.
The best and wholesome spirits of the night envelop you, good provost. Who's called here of late?
None since the curfew rang.
Not Isabella?
No.
They will then. Ere it will be long.
What comfort is from Claudio?
There's some in hope.
Angelo is a bitter deputy.
Oh, not so, then, not so. He doth with holy abstinence subdue that in himself which he spurs on his power to qualify in others. Where he stand with that which he corrects, then where he tyrannous. Oh, hey, now they come, now they come. Oh, this is a gentle provost. Seldom when the steel jailer is the friend of men. Have you no countermand but for Claudio, but he must die tomorrow?
None, sir, none.
As near as the dawning, provost, as it is, you shall hear more ere the morning.
Happily you know something? Yet I believe there no counterman. This is his Lord Secretary.
And here comes Claudio's pardon.
My lord hath sent you this note, and by me this further charge, that you swerve not from the smallest article of it, either in time, matter, or other circumstance. Good morrow, gentlemen, for as I take it, it is almost day.
I shall obey him.
This is his pardon, purchased by such sin for which the pardoner himself is in. And now, sir, what news? Pray, let's hear.
Whatsoever you may hear, in the contrary, let Claudio be executed by 4 of the clock. In the afternoon, Bernardine, for my better satisfaction, let me have Claudio's head sent to me by 5. Let this be the duly performed with a thought that more depends on it than we must yet deliver. This failed not to do your office, as you will answer at your peril. What do you say of that, sir?
What is that Bernardine who is to be executed in the afternoon?
An American born, but here raised up and bred. One that is a prisoner here 9 years.
Well, how came it that the absent Duke had not either delivered him to his liberty or executed him?
His guilt, till now in the government of Lord Angelo, come not an undoubtful proof.
Is it now apparent?
Most manifest, and not denied by himself.
How seems he to be touched?
A man that apprehends death no more dreadfully, but as a drunken sleep.
Ooh, he needs advice.
He will hear none. Give him leave to escape hence. He would not, drunk many times a day, if not many days entirely drunk.
More of him anon. There is written in your brow, Provost, honesty and constancy. In the boldness of my cunning, I will lay myself in hazard. Claudio, whom here you have a warrant to execute, is no greater forfeit to the law than Angelo, who hath sentenced him. To make you understand this in a manifest effect, I crave but 2 days' time, for the which you are to do me both a present and a dangerous courtesy.
Pray, sir, in what?
In the delaying the death.
Alack, how may I do that? Having an hour limited, and an express command under penalty to deliver his head in the view of Angelo?
Let this Bernardine be this morning executed, and his head borne to Angelo.
Angelo has seen them both and will discover the favor.
Oh, that's a great disguise. And you may add to it, shave the head and tie the beard, and say it was the desire of the penitent to be so bad. You know, the course is common.
Pardon me, good father. It is against my oath.
Were you sworn to the Duke or to the deputy, eh?
To him and his substitute.
You will think you have made no offense if the Duke avouch the justice of your dealing?
But what likelihood is in that?
Not a resemblance, but a certainty. Oh, yet I see you fearful that neither my robe, integrity, nor persuasion can with ease attempt you. I will go further than I meant, to pluck all fears out of you. Look you, sir. Here is the seal of the Duke. You know the character, I doubt not, and the signet is not strange to you.
I know them both.
The contents of this is the return of the Duke. You shall read over none. Read it, and read it at your pleasure, where you shall find, within these 2 days, he will be here. Now this is the thing that Angelo knows not, for he this very day receives letters of strange tenor, perchance of the Duke's death, perchance entering into some monastery, but by chance nothing of what is writ here. Put not yourself into amazement how these things should be. All difficulties are but easy when they are known. Call your executioner, and off with Bernardine's ahead. I will give him a confession and advise him for a better place. Oh, yet you are amazed, but this shall absolutely resolve you. Now come away. It is almost clear done.
I am as well acquainted here as I was in our house of profession. One would think it were Mistress Overdone's own house, for here be many of her old customers. Here's one Master Starve Lackey, the rapier and dagger man. And young Drop Air that killed Lusty Pudding. And Grave Master Shooty, the great traveler, and wild half-can that stab butts. And I think 40 more, all great doers in our trade.
Bring Bernardine hither.
Master Bernardine, you must rise and be executed.
Who makes that noise there? What are you?
Your friends, sir, the executioners. You must be so good, sir, to rise and be put to death.
Away, you rogues! Away! I am sleepy.
Tell him he must awake and quickly.
Pray, Master Barnardine, await till you are executed, and sleep afterwards.
Go into him and fetch him out.
He is coming, sir, he is coming. I hear a straw rustle.
Is the axe upon the block?
Very ready, sir.
How now, Harpson? What's the news with you?
Truly, sir, I would desire you to clap into your prayers. For look, you, the Warrens, come.
You rogue! I've been drinking all night. I am not fitted for it.
Oh, the better, sir. For he that drinks all night and is beheaded betimes in the morning may sleep sounder all the next day, eh?
Look, you, sir, here comes your ghostly father. Do we jest now, you think?
Said, I am come to advise you, to comfort you, and pray with you.
Friar, not I. I have been drinking hard all night, and I will have more time to prepare me. Or they shall beat out my brains with clubs. I will not consent to die this day, that's certain.
Go, said, you must. And therefore, I beseech you, look forward on the journey you shall go.
I swear I will not die today for any man's persuasion.
But hear you.
Not a word. If you have anything to say to me, come down to my ward. For thence will not I today.
Unfit to live or die. Oh, stony heart. After him there. Bring him to the block.
Now, sir, how do you find your prisoner?
A creature unprepared, unmeet for death.
Here in the prisoner, father, there died this morning one Ragazine, a man of Claudio's years, his beard and head just of his color. What if we do forget Bernardine and satisfy the deputy with the head of Ragazine more like Claudio?
Oh, 'tis an accident that heaven provides. Dispatch it presently. The hour draws on, fixed by Angelo. See this be done, and sent according to his command, whiles I persuade this rude wretch Bernardine willingly to die.
This shall be done, good father, presently. But Barnardine must die this afternoon. And how should we hide Claudio?
Let this be done. Put them in secret cells, both Bernardine and Claudio.
I am your free dependent.
Now quick, dispatch and send the head to Angelo. Now I will write letters to Angelo. The provost, he shall bear them, whose contents shall witness to him I am near at home, and that by great injunctions I am bound to enter publicly. Angelo, I'll desire to meet me at the consecrated fount, a league below the city, and from thence by cold gradation and well-balanced form we shall proceed into Vienna.
Here is his head. I will carry it myself.
Convenient is it. Make swift to return, for I would commute with you of such things that want no ears but yours.
I make all speed.
The tongue of Isabella. She comes to know if yet her brother pardoned by come hither. But I must keep her ignorant for her good, to make her heavenly comforts of this despair when it is least expected.
Oh, by your leave.
Good morning to you, fair and gracious daughter.
The better given me by so holy a man. Hath yet the deputy sent my brother's pardon?
He hath released him, Isabella, from the world. His head is off and sent to Angelo.
Nay, but it is not so.
It is no other. Show your wisdom, daughter, and your close patience.
I will to him and pluck out his eyes.
You shall not be admitted to his sight.
The unhappy Claudio, wretched Isabella, injurious, world most damned Angelo.
This hurts him, no profits you a jot. Forbear it, therefore. Give your cause to heaven. The Duke comes here tomorrow. Nay, dry your eyes. Already, he hath carried notice to Aeschylus and Angelo to do prepare to meet him at the gates, there to give up their power. If you can pace your wisdom in that good path that I would wish you go, then you shall have your desire on this wrench. Grace of the Duke, revenges to your heart, and general honor.
I am directed by you.
This letter, then, to Sister Perpetua give. Say, by this token I desire her company at Mariana's house tonight. Her the cause, and yours I'll perfect withal, and she shall bring you before the Duke, and to the head of Angelo accuse him face to face. For my poor self, I am bound by a sacred vow and shall be absent. Wend you with this letter. Oh, command these fretting waters from your eyes with a light heart. Trust not my holy order if I do pervert your course. Who's here?
Well, good evening. Friar, where's the provost?
Not within, sir.
Oh, pretty Isabella, I am pale at mine heart to see thine eyes so red. Thou must be patient. They say the Duke will be here tomorrow. By my troth, Isabella, I love thy brother. If the old fantastical Duke of Dark Corners had been at home, Claudio had lived.
Said, the Duke is marvelous little like to your report.
Friar, thou know not the Duke as well as I do. He's a better woodman than thou take him for.
Well, you'll answer for this one day. Fare ye well.
Nay, tarry, I'll go along with thee. I can tell thee pretty tales of the Duke.
I know you have told me too many of him already, said. If they be true. If not true, none were enough.
I was once before him for getting a wench with child.
Did you such a thing?
Yes, Mary, did I, but I was fain to forswear it, and they else would have married me to the rotten whore.
Said, your company is fairer than honest.
By my troth, I'll go with thee to the lane's end. If dirty talk offend you, we'll have very little of it. Nay, Friar, I am a kind of bird. I shall stick.
Every letter he hath writ hath contradicted the other.
In most uneven and distracted manner. And why meet him at the gates and redeliver our authorities there?
I guess not.
Any why we should proclaim it in an hour before his entering Vienna? That if any crave redress of injustice, they should exhibit their petitions in the street.
Oh, no, he shows his reason for that. To have a dispatch of complaints and to deliver us from devices hereafter, which they'll then have no power to stand against us.
Well, I beseech you, let it be proclaimed.
I shall, sir. Fare you well.
Good night. This deed unshapes me quite, makes me stupid and dull to all proceedings. A deflowered maid, and by an eminent body that enforced the law against it, but that her tender shame will not proclaim against her maiden loss. How might she tongue me? Yet reason dares her not to, for my authority bears of a credible bulk that no particular scandal once can touch, but it confounds the breather. He should have lived. Save that riotous youth with dangerous sense might in times have come to taking revenge on me, but would yet he had lived. Alack, when once our grace we have from God, nothing goes it right. We would and we would not.
Provost knows our purpose and our plot. The matter being afoot, keep your instructions and hold you ever to our special drift. Though sometimes you do deviate to this, to that, as cause doth minister. Go to the others, and bid them meet us betimes at the gate.
I shall be speeded well.
To speak so evasively, I am loath. I would say the truth. But to accuse Angelo so, that is your part, yet I am advised to do it. She says to veil full purpose.
Be ruled by her.
Besides, she tells me that if peradventure she speak against me on the adverse side, I should not think it strange, for 'tis a physic that's better to sweet end.
I would, Sister Perpetua.
Oh, peace! The sister is come.
Come, I have found you out of fear and no spirit, where you will have such advantage on the Duke, he shall not pass you. Twice have the trumpets sounded. The generous and gravest citizens have gone to the gates, and very near upon the Duke is entering. Therefore, hence away.
Cousin, fairly met! Our old and faithful friend. Oh, we are glad to see you.
Happy return
Oh,
be to
happy
your royal
return
grace.
be to your royal
Many
grace.
and hearty thankings to you both. We have made inquiry of you, and we hear such goodness of your justice that our soul cannot but yield you forth to public thanks. And let the subjects see, to make them know that outward courtesies would fain proclaim favors that keep within. Come, Aeschylus, you must walk by us on the other hand, and good supporter are you.
Now is your time. Speak loud.
Justice, O royal Duke! Veil your regard upon a wronged, I would fain have said a maid. O worthy Prince, dishonor not your eye by throwing it on any other object till you have heard me in my true complaint, and giving me justice. Justice! Justice! Justice!
Relate your wrongs. In what? Be brief. Oh, here is Lord Angelo shall give you justice. Reveal yourself to him.
O worthy Duke, you bid me seek redemption of the devil. Hear me yourself. For that which I must speak must either punish me not being believed, or wring redress from you. Hear me. Oh, hear me!
My lord, her wits, I fear me, are not firm. She hath been a suitor to me for her brother, cut off by course of justice.
By course of justice?
She will speak most bitterly and strange.
Most strange, yet most truly will I speak. That Angelo's a liar! Is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer! Is it not strange? That Angelo is an adulterous thief, a hypocrite, a virgin violator! Is it not strange and strange?
Nay, it is 10 times strange.
Nay, it is 10 times true, for truth is truth to the end of reckoning.
Away with her! Poor soul! She speaks this in the infirmity of sense.
Oh, Prince, I beg thee, as thou believe there is another comfort than this world, that thou neglect me not with that opinion that I am touched with madness. Make not impossible but one. The wickedest wretch on the ground may seem as shy, as grave, as just, as absolute as Angelo. Even so may Angelo, in all his dressings, medals, titles, forms, be an arch villain. Believe it, royal prince, if he be less, he's nothing, but he's more, had I more names for badness.
By mine honesty, if she be mad, as I believe no other, her madness hath the oddest frame of sense.
Gracious Duke, harp not on that, but let your reason serve to make the truth appear where it seems hid, and hide the fault seems true.
Oh, many that are not mad have sure more lack of reason. What would you say?
I am the sister of one Claudio, condemned upon the act of fornication to lose his head. Condemned by Angelo. I, in probation of a sisterhood, was sent to by my brother, one Lucio is then the messenger.
That's I! And it like your grace, I came to her from Claudio, and desired her to try her gracious fortune with Lord Angelo for her poor brother's pardon.
That's he indeed.
You were not bid to speak.
No, my lord, nor wish to hold my peace.
I wish you now, then. Pray you take note of it. And when you have a business for yourself, pray heaven you then be perfect.
I warrant, your honor.
The warrant's for yourself. Take heed of it.
This gentleman told somewhat of my tale.
Right. It may be right, but you are in the wrong to speak before your time. Proceed.
I went to this pernicious, wicked deputy.
Oh, that's somewhat madly spoken.
Pardon it. The phrase is to the matter.
Mend it again. The matter. Proceed.
In brief, to set the needless process by, how I persuaded, how I prayed and kneeled, how he refused me, how I replied, for this was of much length. The vile conclusion I now begin with grief and shame to utter. He would not, but by the gift of my chaste body to his yearning and temperate lust, release my brother. And after much debatement, my sisterly remorse overcomes mine honor. And I did yield to him. But the next morn betimes, his purpose satisfied, he sent a warrant for my poor brother's head.
This is most likely.
Oh, then it is for as like as it is true.
By heaven, fond wench, thou knows not what thou speak, or else thou art suborned against his honor and hateful practice. First, his integrity stands without blemish. Next, it imports no reason that with such vehemency he should pursue faults proper to himself. Someone hath set you on. Confess the truth, and say by whose advice thou came here to complain.
And this is all. Then, you blessed angels above, keep me in patience, and with ripened time unfold the evil which is here wrapped up in appearances. Heaven shield your grace from woe, as I thus wronged hence unbelieved go.
Oh, I know you'd like to be gone. And officer, To prison with her! Shall we thus permit a blasting and a scandalous breath to fall on him so near to us? This needs must be a conspiracy. Who knew of your intent in coming hither?
One that I would were here. Friar Lodowick.
Oh, a ghostly father belike. Who knows that Lodowick?
My lord, I know him. 'Tis a meddling friar. I do not like the man. Had he been a layman, my lord, for certain words he spoke against your grace in your retirement, I had punched him soundly.
Words against me. This is a good friar belike. And to set on this wretched woman here against our substitute, let this friar be found.
But yesternight, my lord, she and that friar, I saw them at the prison. A saucy friar, oh, a very saucy fellow.
Blessed be your royal grace. I have stood by, my lord, and I have heard your royal ear abused. First, hath this woman most wrongfully accused your substitute, who is as free from touch or soil with her as she from one ungot.
We did believe no less. Know you that Friar Lodowick that she speaks of?
I know him for a man divine and holy, not scurvy nor a temporary meddler, as he's reported by this gentleman. And on my trust, a man that never yet did, as he vouches, misreport your grace.
My lord, most villainously, believe it!
Well, he in time may come to clear himself. But at this instant he is sick, my lord, of a strange fever. Upon his mere request, being come to knowledge that there was a complaint intended against Lord Angelo, came I hither to speak as from his mouth what he doth know is true and false, and what he, with his oath and all probation, will make up full and clear whensoever he's summoned. First, for this woman, to justify this worthy nobleman, so vulgarly and personally accused, her shall you hear disprove to her eyes, till she herself confess it.
Good sister, let's hear it. Do not smile at this Lord Angelo. Oh, heaven, the vanity of wretched fools. Come, cousin Angelo, sit. In this I'll be impartial. Be you judge of your own cause. Is this the witness, sister? First, let her show her face, and after speak.
Pardon, my lord, I will not show my face until my husband bids me.
What, are you married?
No, my lord.
Are you a maid?
No, my lord.
A widow, then?
Neither, my lord.
Why, are you nothing, then? Neither maid, widow, nor wife?
My lord, she may be a whore. Many of them are neither maid, widow, nor wife.
Silence that fellow. I would he have some cause to prattle for himself.
Well, my lord.
My lord, I do confess I never was married. And I confess, besides, I'm no virgin. I have slept with my husband, yet my husband knows not ever he slept with me.
He was drunk then, my lord. It can be no better.
For the benefit of silence, would thou wert so too.
Well, my lord, well.
This is no witness for Lord Angelo.
Now I come to it, my lord. She that accuses him of fornication, in self-same manner, doth accuse my husband, and charges him, my lord, with such a time when all deposed, I had him in mine arms with all the effect of love.
Charges she more than me?
Not that I know.
No, you say your husband.
Why, just my lord, and that is Angelo, who thinks he knows that he never knew my body, but knows he thinks that he knows Isabel's.
This is a strange abuse. Let's see thy face.
My husband bids me, now I will unmask. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, which once thou swore was worth the looking on. This is the hand which with a vowed contract was fast locked in thine. This is the body that took away the match from Isabel, and did supply thee at thy garden house in her imagined person.
Know you this woman?
Sexually, she says.
Sirrah, no more.
Enough, my lord.
My lord, I must confess I know this woman. And 5 years since there was some speech of marriage betwixt myself and her, which was broke off, partly for that her promised dowry came short of composition, but in chief for that her reputation was disvalued in promiscuity. Since which time of 5 years I never spake with her, saw her, nor heard from her upon my faith and honor.
Noble prince, as there comes light from heaven, and words from breath, as there is sense and truth and virtue, I am engaged this man's wife as strongly as words could make up vows. And my good lord, but Tuesday night last gone, in his garden house, he slept with me as a wife. As this is true, let me in safety raise me from my knees, or else forever be fixed here a marble monument.
I did but smile till now. Now, good my lord, give me the scope of justice. My patience here is touched. I do perceive these poor informal women are no more but instruments of some more mightier number that sets them on. Let me have my way, my lord, to find this practice out.
Aye, with my heart, and punish them to your height of pleasure. Oh, thou foolish sister, and thou pernicious woman! Compact with her that's gone, think thou thy oaths were testimony against his worth and credit? Now, my good Aeschylus, sit with my cousin, lend him your kind pains to find out this abuse, whence 'tis derived. Oh, there is another friar that set them on. Let him be sent for.
Would he were here, my lord, for he indeed hath set this woman on to this complaint. Your provost knows the place where he abides, and he may fetch him.
Go, do it instantly. And you, my noble and well-warranted cousin, whom it concerns to hear this matter forth, do with your injuries as seems you best in any punishment. I for a while will leave you, but stir you not till you have well determined upon these slanders.
My lord, we'll do it thoroughly. Signor Lucio, did not you say you knew that Friar Lodowick to be a dishonest person?
A hood does not make a monk. Honest in nothing but his robes, and one that hath spoke most villainous speeches of the Duke.
We shall entreat you to abide here till he come, and enforce them against him, and we shall this friar find to be a notorious fellow.
As any in Vienna, on my word.
Call that same Isabel here once again. I would speak with her. Pray you, my lord, give me leave to question. You shall see how I'll handle her.
No better than he by her own report.
Say you.
Mary, my lady, I think if you handled her privately, she would sooner confess. Perchance publicly, she'll be ashamed.
I will go darkly to work with her.
That's the way, for women are easiest at midnight.
Come on, mistress. Here's a gentleman denies all you have said.
My lady, here comes the rascal friar I spoke of. Here, with the provost.
In very good time. Speak not to him till we call upon you.
Mum?
Come, sir. Did you set these women on to slander Lord Angelo? They have confessed you did.
Oh, 'tis a false.
How? Know you where you are?
Where is the Duke? 'Tis he should hear me speak.
The Duke is in us, and we shall hear you speak. Look, you speak justly.
Boldly, at least. Oh, poor souls, come you to seek the lamb here of the fox? Good night to your justice. Is the Duke gone? Then is your cause gone too. The Duke's unjust to put your trial in the villain's mouth, which you come here to accuse.
This is the rascal. This is he I spoke of.
Why, thou unreverend and unhallowed friar, is it not enough thou hast suborned these women to accuse this worthy man, but in foul mouth and in witness of his proper ear, to call him villain, and then to shift from him to the Duke himself, to tax him with injustice? Oh, take him hence to the rack with him. We'll tear him joint by joint, but we will know his purpose. What unjust!
Oh, be not so hard! The Duke dare no more stretch this finger of mine than he dare rack his own. My business in this state made me a looker-on here in Vienna, where I have seen corruption boil and bubble till it overrun the stew.
Oh, slander to the state! Away with him to prison!
What can you vouch against him, Signor Lucio? Is this the man you did tell us of?
'Tis he, my lord. Come hither, goodman Bald-Pate. Do you know me?
I'd remember you said, by the sound of your voice, I met you at the prison in the absence of the Duke.
Oh, did you so? And do you remember what you said of the Duke?
Most notedly said.
Do you so said? And was the Duke a fleshmonger, a fool, a coward, as you then reported him to be?
Oh, you must said change persons with me, ere you make that my report. You indeed spoke of him, and much more, much worse.
Oh, thou damnable fellow! Did I not pluck thee by thy nose for thy speeches?
I protest! I love the Duke as I love him myself.
Hark how the villain would appease now after his treasonable abuses.
Ah, such a fellow is not to be talked withal. Away with him to prison. Provost, away with him to prison. Lay bolts upon him. Let him speak no more. Away with those harlots, too, and with their other Confederate companion.
Stay, sir. Stay a while.
What resists he? Help him, Lucio.
Come, sir. Come, sir. Come, sir. Bald-Pate, lying rascal.
Hey.
You must be hooded, must you? Show your knave's face.
Nay.
Pox on you. Show your sheep-biting face and be hanged in an hour.
Thou art the first knave that ever made a duke. First provost, let me bail these gentle three. Sneak you not away, sir, for the Friar and you must have a word anon. Lay hold of him.
This may prove worse than hanging.
Aeschylus, what you have spoke, I pardon. Sit you down. Sir, by your leave, hast thou or word, or wit, or impudence that yet can do the office? If thou hast, rely upon it till my tale be heard, and hold no longer out.
Oh, my dread lord, I should be guiltier than my guiltiness to think I can be undiscovered, when I perceive your grace like power divine that looks upon my sins. Then, good prince, no longer session hold upon my shame, but let my trial be mine own confession. Immediate sentence then, and sequent death, is all the grace I beg.
Come hither, Mariana. Say, wast thou ever contracted to this woman?
I was, my lord.
Go, take her hence, and marry her instantly. Do you the office, sister. Which consummate, return him here again. Go with him, provost.
My lord, I am more amazed at his dishonor than at the strangeness of it.
Come hither, Isabella. Your friar is now your prince. As I was then advertising and wholly to your business, not changing heart with habit, I am still acting at your service.
Give me pardon that I, your vassal, have employed and pained your unknown sovereignty.
You are pardoned, Isabel. Your brother's death, I know, sits at your heart. And you may marvel why I obscured myself, laboring to save his life, and would not rather make rash remonstrance of my hidden power than let him be so lost. Oh, most kind maid, it was the swift execution of his death, which I did think with slower foot came on, that ruined my purpose. But peace be with him. That life is better life past fearing death than that which lives to fear. Make it your comfort. So happy is your brother.
I do, my lord.
For this new married man approaching here, who whose salt imagination hath yet wronged your well-defended honor, you must pardon for Mariana's sake. But, as he adjudged your brother, being criminal in double violation of sacred chastity and of promise breach thereon dependent for your brother's life, the very mercy of the law cries out most audible, even from his proper tongue, and Angelo for Claudio, death for death. Haste still pays haste, and leisure answers leisure. Like doth quit like, and measure still for measure. Then, Angelo, thy faults thus proven, we do condemn thee to the very blot where Claudio stooped to death, and with like haste, away with him!
Oh, my most gracious lord, I hope you will not mock me with a husband.
Why, it is your husband mocked you with a husband. Consenting to the safeguard of your honor, I thought your marriage fit. Else, imputation, for that he slept with you, might reproach your life and choke your good to come. For his possessions, although by confiscation they are ours, we do instate and widow you withal to buy yourself a better husband.
My dear lord, I crave no other nor no better man.
Never crave him. We are determined.
That's what my liege.
You do lose your labor. Away with him to death. Now, sir, to you.
My good lord! Queen Isabel, take my part. Lend me your knees and all my life to come. I'll lend you all my life to do you service.
Against all sense do you importune her. If she should kneel down in the mercy of this fact, her brother's ghost his grave bed would break, and take her hence in horror.
Isabel, sweet Isabel, do yet but kneel by me. Hold up your hands, say nothing. I'll speak all. They say best men are molded out of faults, and for the most become much more the better for being a little bad. So may my husband. Oh, Isabel, will you not lend a knee?
He dies for Claudio's death.
Most generous sir, look, if it pleased you, on this man condemned as if my brother lived. I partly think a due sincerity governed his deeds, till he did look on me. Since it is so, let him not die. My brother had but justice in that he did the thing for which he died. For Angelo, his act did not overtake his bad intent, and must be buried but as an intent that perished by the way. Thoughts are no subjects, intents but merely thoughts.
Merely, my lord.
Your suit's unprofitable. Stand up, I say. I have bethought me of another crime. Provost, how came it Claudio was beheaded at an unusual hour?
It was commended so.
Had you a special warrant for the deed?
No, my good lord. It was by private message.
For which I do discharge you of your office. Give up your keys.
Pardon me, noble lord. You did repent me after more advice and proof whereof, one in the prison, that should by private order else have died, I have reserved alive.
What's he?
His name is Barnardine.
I would thou had done so by Claudio. Go fetch him hither. Let me look upon him.
I am sorry one so learned and so wise as you, Lord Angelo, have still appeared, should slip so grossly, both in the heat of blood and lack of tempered judgment afterward.
I am sorry that such sorrow I cause, and so deep sticks it in my penitent heart that I crave death more willingly than mercy. 'Tis my deserving, and I do entreat it.
Which is that Barnardine?
This, my lord.
There was a friar told me of this man. Sirrah, thou art said to have a stubborn soul that apprehends no further than this world and shapes thy life according. Thou art condemned. But for all those earthly crimes, I quit the law. better times to come. Sister, advise him. I leave him to your hand. What muffled fellow is that?
This is another prisoner that I saved, who should have died when Claudio lost his head, as like almost Claudio as himself.
If he be like your brother, for his sake is he pardoned. And for your lovely sake, give me your hand and say you will be mine. He is my brother too. But fitter time for that. Oh, by this Lord Angelo perceives he's safe. Methinks I see a quickening in his eye. Well, Angelo, your evil quits you well. Look that you love your wife, her worth yours. I find an apt remission in myself. And yet, here's one in place I cannot pardon. You, Sirrah, that knew me for a fool, a coward, one of all luxury, an ass, a madman. Wherein have I so deserved of you that you extol me thus?
In faith, my lord, I spoke it, but according to the gossip. If you will hang me for it, you may, but I had rather it would please you, I might just be whipped.
Whipped? First, sir, and hanged after. Oh. Proclaim it, provost, round the city, is any woman wronged by this lewd fellow? As I have heard him swear himself, there's one who he begot with child. Let her appear, and he shall marry her. The nuptial furnished, let him be whipped and hanged.
I beseech your highness, do not marry me to a whore. Your highness said, even now, I made you a duke. Good, my lord, do not recompense me in making me a cuckold.
Upon mine honor, thou shalt marry her. Thy slander, Lucio. I forgive. Take him to prison, and see our pleasure herein carried out.
Marry a whore, my lord, is pressing to death, whipping and hanging.
Slandering a prince deserves it. Gee, Claudio, that you wronged, look you marry. Joy to you, Mariana. Love her, Angelo. I have confessed her, and I know her virtue. Thanks, good friend Aeschylus, for thy much goodness. Thanks, provost, for thy care in secrecy. Now we shall employ thee in a worthier place. Oh, and forgive him, Angelo, that brought you home the head of Ragenstein for Claudio's. The offense pardons itself. Dear Isabella, I have a proposal much imports your good, whereto, if you'll a willing ear incline, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. So, bring us to our palace, where we'll show what's yet untold. That's meet you all should know.
okay, it just needs like as soon as that
Thank you.